Odo Broni for Yamakwaba at the back UTV. So, when we say that me set up near quite different because I'm about an open area. Me person, me far konya way so. Na me actually my dream. Enra, me a few observations our United showbiz na me person me di ho komo. Na me jidi say and seminar course na me jidi say Enra. I think the understanding of the whole case in Enra no. A lawyer for me no mobile show no so am I who say almost a church judgment in him. Na kahunu say judgment no is a fraction of the whole proceedings I call so over a month. And then shany lawyer no can say case like that sometimes can take you more than 4 years. Into say be a one social time constraint na a buyer nunti ama certification authentication authorization no is an anomaly nana sabri akofa sans and some there. I believe that if the lawyers of Akosua Serwaa is citing say a whole lab sending a mass supplement me any authorization. I believe that Enra lawyer Kusi Edwin Kusi no or your lawyer no take the opportunity to explain certain things Senabeya among for behunia AC course the ewo. By and large, I think that yesterday's show no Bebrina actually because Enra in as much as said Bebrina tried to prove a point, you know, there was a part of Judy said very educational because a judgment and sometimes you need a lawyer who can break it down so for you, and I think that lawyer Kusi break it down me na yet in seminary. On other part, and so Judy said those lawyers have an opportunity to read the judgment, and so they are not also preview to some of the statement. Now, yeah, can't add our horn because Mijidi said, and Harry Arthur, lawyer Kusi, Dominion Chambers, lawyer Kusi, or no, junior lawyer, no, it's a good opportunity to take us through how a statement from the day one up to very day a judgment in the Ebana. And I believe that Enra no on your opportunity to explain, especially a display correspondent, actually say they did their best to make sure they get the document certified and authorized, but Kahunu said Germany is a sovereign state. You cannot just subpoena them, they will just come to the witness box and also testify. And two, and now lawyer many etias said even an expert witness can say one for expert witness mano. Sometimes expert witness be more. It's not mandatory for the court to accept the expert witness babekan just to come and explain certain things to the court. No then say near obekano or no ena yebede yebeji ide ediatum. Timijidi say enra that part timijidi say yina den etiasie eme hunu say even though an expert witness between abechechire nsemu but the court is not bound to accept any expert witness. Enti lawyer Henry it take the opportunity to explain to the Ghanaian people to know say even though you may go ahead to have your expert witness and explain certain things, but the court is not bound, mandatory to accept expert witness and also it's a key opportunity to explain. And I'm just say more blame lawyer kusin just say Enra Henry ebe church mu say and yes of it preoccupy no munim say they have to authorize or authenticate and those kind of documents, you know, and also add the whole. Enra lawyer kusi so ever opportunity so chire mu appeal na yamami Akosua Serwaa ekono. What are the process? What are the merit? What are the procedure ye faso? Na kahuni say case na yedi na high court na temwa for leadership Donald Smith Arthur edin judgment the buy, you know. Say the court of appeal na ya appeal decision na court no appeal court no ewo lay down rules me say every lawyer be a participate in him how court of appeal we be see ayewo normal but then no you don't adduce fresh evidence unless in exceptional cases. In exceptional cases, you know, or to just can say one at the time ye di case, which means Akosua Serwaa Odo Broni case. At the time ye di no new evidence I also was sacked at that time and no new chain. Now you don't have that at your disposal. I hope that one is clear. Two, say what decided the bar or court of appeal? Does it have weight? A idea said the two senior anymore. A bit me as a decision at high court in a take nana. 3. As I said at the time I will purchase a yedi as seminal na anyone channel steps bend would take here to make sure say a beer as some hour day bano and also a bed for and I say sir we na wodi ba the new document na wodi ba no at the time I will purchase any winchen steps I would take here sanka oseba kan wosanka. I think that nra ɛhɔ no nkyerɛkyerɛ mu de self explanatory megye de sɛ ɛhɔ edika a sɛ yɛkyerɛkyerɛ mu enti yenuanom ani adɔfo mu di case wɔ yachi. I think that nra explanation no amani so clear enti wanka sɛ wuti a obetumi ehun sɛ appeal na yɛ kɔ no me can appeal na yɛ kɔ no because me masama make me stance so clear sɛ me support ye maami Akosua Serwaa fosu me kan ye maami Akosua Serwaa the din oyɛ warefo ada Lumba yere baako pɛ a yenim ɛyɛ Mrs Akosua Serwaa fosu ɛno ɛna mɛbɔ ne din nti ɛno no yame adoma appeal no process no mɛbɔ modern sɛ me ne lawyer fo bɛdi nkɔmmɔ na mo akyerɛ me. I think that me ne lawyer Bernard edi nkomo no so echechire mu na elha mejide se eno so mejide se ebeto asumu. So for now the appeal no omo ka ho asem kakra a mejide se ye nyina besua bibia de e afrim enti mpaibo na me bo se you see for you to adduce a new evidence so you have to prove say evidence no the bar it will have a bearing in the judgment no mejide se a lawyer form be file anything like that they know that that's what they are supposed to do. Now to other matters I may observe here during the discussion. I think that at some point lawyer Kusi, lawyer Henry was trying to explain certain things, but the honor Empress cut in short, especially when he wanted to talk about because the judge said something said Odo Broni witness by only a credible because nin some more kind of is so, which means your witness statement now watch at the abano. See, bisa ho nsɛm wɔ hɔ ne te sɛ muaya bɛba ne te sɛ ɛne witness statement na watwerɛ de abada ne bobra sɛ ebia witness statement me de call last week ɛna me kɔka sɛ Odo Broni anware no ana sɛ ware no nipa dodo sei na ɛbaayɛ nti ɛna mbɛgyina da kam ne sɛ totoma no a nsɛm a mɛka no ɛsɛ sɛ nea matwerɛ dada ne ɛne ne bobra nti according to the judge no Odo Broni witness a Mr. Bediako a obɛgyina da kam afrɛ ɔyɛ tax administrator ɔno ɛware Odo Broni sister nti yɛmfa ne sɛ akama ɔyɛ yɛmfa Odo Broni yɛ ne yere what I say ɔno na yɛbɛ star witness for Odo Broni ɛka ne nsɛm ɔkekan na otemmuafo ne pa kyerɛ sɛ ɛsisi so nti enu bi na lawyer Henry pɛsɛ ɔtwe amanfo adwene kosi sɛ even though otemmuafo ne sɛ ne witness ɔde ban ɛyɛ credible no ɔbɛgye ɔno adi no at some point mo kan say pictures na ade ba ya I think that picture no kra no mo show e was screen so we behu say ensa no achi akodi benkum want to say na in fact you don't need an expert witness to even audit that picture. You now you can see that na wankaso behu nia ekos me nko yiman because court e can sebna se wo pass commenter you have to be very careful. I say be pass e be chill contempt. Nti mo no wankaso mu hwe picture na no lawyer Henry a display or TV so mama hunu say indeed this picture probably omujituma enye enti raise objection because in the court of law no so be the document the ba next you don't object to that document they presume say it's genuine document enti sena the marriage certificate in the court Odo Broni and ebusa penny lawyers no e can say there be only ni adwene fake and let's say enyo authentic enyo original no into something also the picture the buy and see a ball object here send a baby who said no matter a cost. Two, amount for a creating impression say Safo Kantanka testimonial or the call, you know, it's rather a call in favor of Odo Broni. And I think that another lawyer Kusi took opportunity to explain say it's not. In fact, on the testimony called Koma Crampono, expert witness or Koma in a can language, you know, a bois a family union because a family union patcher say Odo Broni, you're wearing the customary. And a two, Akosua Serwaa ekugunsa inside the corner enzo expert witness na actually be chechire mu say account for the inside the basi egua warrior steps like say take you know and you know no take here so at least the court consider no so consider no nti education or bama court no a court no tumi gina so edi make the judgment nti me gide say ho no na lawyer Arthur episode chere pictures many but I think at some point you know Empress, the host, tranketini kakra into amana antumi enflow. I think later part of it, you know, or he maneuvered his way out to prove say indeed in the picture I buy, you know, now it's like a Photoshop. What I say, but the temwa for any patch say Photoshop, you know, what is part of the testimony for Bushia Penny. But temwa for can say a Bushia Penny ne evidence ne your debate na hearsay. But Ubisa say since when did the court started? accepting hearsay and presumptions. Of course, what more for no so can say it was a penny some other by crap the way to cry the any year because then some more can hearsay. But Odo Broni expert witness and make reference to a penny statement of the buyer concerning the same picture. Ain't it inference no? Or the more for no say it was a penny judge and they in a witness not being I say hearsay. Won't be put to wait because I say it's not credible. Let me put it that way. But the credible source now Odo Broni hono and make you reference the busia you by consent the list of people omkoji aware no enti eno nso den ewo ho obia na me nso na se medin hu ya kakra obia medin hu ya kakra yankasa ye nana ni obegina. I think that obi bia no hwe show no put your affiliation aside, put everything aside. I believe Senra he came to disgrace himself on the show. First of all, there was something called client-doctor confidentiality. Into Ubeka Sakra, one Sakra can say that the Lumba, woman be drawn now, which they did near. So at what point, and one Kasawas more can say you don't need to disclose client confidentiality near. But why do you have to come on TV to say Okudi Fufoni poison? You have disclosed. That was unfair. That was complete. I don't know whether he was carried away by the discussion and the course because you already started by saying that you don't need to disclose client, doctor, patient confidentiality, which is established. So anytime you're making any other comments like that, you have to be very careful. So at what point did you come to conclusion that the Lumba Ebeka Chiro say you're poison? And that is a confidentiality your client are confined in you. Say na me de me hu ye me kodi vom ko yen say even your statement on the floor no you can say so or catch me say poison here then but me can't say anything. So that one it was flawed. And two, and that Lumba ye gunen mase abusia penny ASA. You have already taken your stance and you have been listening to you on our Man FM. Countless times are you making accusation, making your point to support Odo Broni. So everyone imagine say we your hene we ye obi a woni we say me dey need the man because between me papa nti me asma me can very decorum to make sure say me kasa the infantial. Ti no obetena ho no sometimes you have to make your stance clear. So wherever na asma obeka no bia be hu say you are coming from this side. E ma yete say obi a wugina finfin you want abusuan pani you want say yensie lumba say ni sabi mane da sumuno 1 week edini kama nti ba ne sana sem bi bae. Sometimes look at the roots of the cause, but not to talk about the reaction. Because me tia sabi mbo masuma e bia nka me ntena me sanfa mbo. So nti hu say me atena me sa dia ball bi say hu say dia na oye me an nti ma me tena me sa me dey ball. Always look at the cause, the root cause before you talk about the main problem. Say another me can say you take this bottle of water. When there's a hole here, no matter amount of water you pour inside, it will go for. So whenever you want to address any other issue, make sure you address the issue here. Ne cover no. Who cover na he? Who pa consio if fansio no kafama akola kete crampo. Obetumi afele glass we ma. What I say? But say ha tokro da ha. No so di nso dugu mi sen. Wo dugu ma ebegu fom. But cover it up. No di nso dugu ma ebegina. Nte megina finfini mu ha na nka asem no. Ignore the fact say we and it me holding no. What I say? So what I want to say is that don't come and say Lumba busianfo egu Lumba animu asem ye ni say busian pani sebi o ninsem kekan mu no anka say consistent e principled e kan say me na me kan say me gina so say na me kan ninsem o kan bebre na bagina bontiam for part one so ku bi ono kan say wo say wo bisa ba ya no kwa manan so bie na num ka che say anye ne ho ade enemre ba ne say ko gina court akokan say aye ne ho ade say ni say akodi adanse kra san aka ho to the extent say picture kra wo see ye wo see media Akosua Serwaa minino na ye the picture achira Akosua Serwaa daluma o si daluma we dia minino but we dia minino e ho na we have been able to deny somebody a wo nim no say wonim no you see until such a principle nimpa bi say no say obi ko gina ba bi kan bi say na so obi kan some da achira wa you will not probably take that person serious what I say because one kasa wo kan wasema won sema wo kan e insist so eno giga be gina on nsema wo kan ene nti e papa Oheneba enra Jumedi no be PM or UTV ne de you didn't good to yourself one yard. And why I'm disappointed in you say that poison part that partner that Lumba confined in you what does I want to now channel want to watch radio near undi is fair enough but for you to come out to say Annie who disclose the patient doctor confidentiality, but yet you ended up telling the whole world to say you're poison. What I say? Internally, the one yard, and then no why say why Sergio Ramos, and no Jiga Ekasa Crumpus or Becasa. There be a cancer. There's a difference between me woko. Ninya will be a culture. But say no, not Jiga Casano. Now we'll try to interrupt it. Most of these family meetings now you are not there. You only get briefing from people on Mokoho. The briefing is about culture on so nimpa na culture on or be can ne ogidis or culture or ubediadi. What I say? And you have already make you stand clear so who support you Odo Broni, not because of Busha Penny. You have made it clear. Go and watch your previous videos. Odo Broni if you wealthy home. Odo Broni share. When say anything. Sometimes some of these comments sometimes it's kind of a little bit shocking. Mujidi say Busha Penny, Muja Odo Broni be chase Lumba because of the sikana. No Odo Broni if you wouldn't feel sika for Hankasa. I've heard you say that, Nana. But then I sit back and ask myself. Sika ofie bibia ofie ne papa de na ko school abre ne maame right Odo Broni maame me be kan asem won sem anka so kan previously na me be decode de akero wo se Odo Broni efifie no film sika ya de ewo ho ntamanfo anya omo adwene se sebe fa Lumba because of the sika na se fame na bibi sam se tie court na de ko tie witness na me be afi na bi sam se Oheneba se yenua Odo Broni efie no film sika ho bibia ho kama na me ameti hai ma wo me ba sebi atete no bra ma bre ai tete nkwala atete no e de na ko kindergarten eti de bi krampa bia minika wo fie a trotro mefa anapa mesora hamachi e de na ko school atete abaya kama e me na wie primary school akọ JHS ewie kama asa akọ SHS ewie in fact SHS ni mu no du ko shia to the witness or say odu form 3 no ono ko shia da de Lumba all twice so pursue the dream as a nurse and I must see okọ nursing school what I say edu level 200 na sebi ko shia bema onim se bema na ewu kunu excuse me bema na wojire akoshia bema na bema na bekekere wo awofo no se sebi o Obano, Beninja school level 200, ni dream of because of nurse baby bia na suntwa no metena me nchen. Na excuse me to say o me wo mama na so o me treat me say ya. Na wo awofo obo ho ka. So imagine obi ode ne back school secondary school abon ho ka kon nursing training awie akohia be ma na ka chen so onjai no matter the status of that man. Onjai school ni metena fie. Na won so awofo no sika wo fie. Wa ba kwala no ho ka. Abrese na ko school na won so apene so. Amene jai betina fie because bema bi star bi ehia wo ba ono owoyere say jai na betina fie asem bi say no me wo ka kire me a emu ntre ma me it has not sit well with me. I will not use any other word. I will not sit well with me. Say maboka say me ti he ma wo me baba e de na ko school primary school GHS abo ho ka e de na ko school etua ka me sora hamachi na masran na ma utie no hu ayaka din na se na be ya me ba me din be gina ba bi pa na me ba no akọ school we do nursing training o level 200 a chede that time do 300 na wi school na nya unsa ne djuma wakọ hye benyina sebi o woyer o yira nkasa na war no ngui na wabaka kire mu awofo nde onja school na mo nso so ma atena ho ma ahwe nde afro no onja school metena fi dem kukwa na nsesemi dem na nsesemi woto kire hwana me kan fantasies here the man and system what to chere hwana nti se be gina baby kan den o sika ni sika wo fe no wamma banyin nche because of ni sika sem na da ne demi wo adwena onye yi adwen chere do ho nta me kana me onya adwen nti ne dadze me ka chere de show na ba ne de you didn't do yourself good somebody disclose client patient confidentiality am the whole public what in the dad mo ka chere do poison ne fufum wo the poison anyade atas na ne da sa dan seje rambos jiga na kasa pe na pe interrupting enti say and most of the family meetings you were not there or be brief you and the briefing that you receive you will get a briefing now patch there one word no correct enti so be o hono so kan that cherewa even though you may disagree with him no don't interrupt him because jiga na kan asem no meeting asibi o kan ho bi in fact asampo kan he want a signatories to the account and to be a signatory to account na so be kan asem o komo that cherewa be na obutwanto Atase. Into one hour committee no ban or cancel the Cherewa. You were not part of the committee. You were not part of those family meetings at Woko. Into family for Bekan Wasama. Why do you have to disagree with the person on Yanakwa? At some point, MC Abu Asusu can do dig as some or can on Yanakwa, Wako assassin or baby. Minjin today, the family would just come out to say there. Sebi Paco saw him the cramp or Hong Kong Kobana Mane. And you are sometimes and no corner the whole but I said and can and of course Ola came in and I love his submissions. Afola, I don't know. You may disagree with him sometimes with some of his comments and commentaries. But did that semi bay, we'll take opportunity to make sure there. Also, obey study, obey read, obey be some more to understand the concept. In fact, Yami had much in a exclusive interview about the same case. Atase. Sana yesterday it was very fruitful and very eventful program there. You know, I think that Nana Oheneba one who modern. Whatever Obakani na Obakana sem, wo Lumba na imasi. Wo in the one or good imasi. Why no good imasi? Nya busepenya. Abusepenya sebe okawana okojina hana wakawana oba hana obejina obeje kantu. Nti beheden na sebe ni nuamum mpemfo wodi na chi when I akansem ni. So that is what I wanted to say today there. Yesterday was very fruitful discussion and I believe that one hour obejina show no that why Sergio Ramos no be defense where kra wanyi. And I believe that now the appeal yambon pay. Send a appeal no bibia botum akodo kama. De bia me kana mechira maju na me anu nin kese ntie obi biara because I don't know how to insult and I will never do that. I will never do that because mechira maju na me nya onya adwuna ne nchire de wode me bie manu na de me yaw another make kase de me ditiaw atase. So that is the point that I wanted to make. And that the last point that I want to say is that as I said, I am not married. So anything that I will say here is based of my personal knowledge. And as I'm in you can feel free and drop your comment under the comment section. Now search what I've said right now. Because I believe that justice must be served. And I will say that we should not, under normal circumstance, let technicalities prevail over the justice. And as they released the statement yesterday, the truth, credibility, and clarity will prevail at the right time. And I believe that we leave everything to the court and the lawyers to deal with that. And as I said, no, lawyer Kusinida, when the discussion already ongoing, and sometimes I'll pick a call and call lawyer, Pepacho, they need at us. And yesterday, MC Abua or Empress wanted to push the lawyer to see something because some of the statement questions will be silent. It was not coming from their chamber. It was coming from a different chamber. So why are you going to ask him, what's up? Yeah, body. And I like the response later, Lawyer Henry demand, because that was not part for them. It's a different law firm. It's a different law firm now. What should I'm letting into and that letter on fan come what proceedings into Kobisana. That is something out there. People are agitating. People are arguing. The Akosua Serwaa, northern people say, Odo Broni that Lumba. I mean, can't find sure. Ye mubinum, ye by imagine how you can. Issue about confidentiality and people that are confined in us. I will not put a camera on my face and stand here and spew people things that have told me. But no car, over dirty. At the right time, no car bedding, over dirty. It's me, no man paper, no yen paper. But one hour win him, win him. 1 hour win him to win him. 1 hour win him to win him. And I repeat, 1 hour win him. So please, just bear with me, Atase. So this is my personal observation about yesterday's show. And I believe you also have any personal observation about the show, just feel free and drop your comment under the comment section, Atase. Sanabeya, we can get interactive about this whole issue. Atase. My name is Asik Das. Inedi, be in a very different place. Sanabeya, you see me here. Now also so Edward Shre at the Abba. Hopefully I'll try and then talk to Lawyer Henry and talk to few lawyers to at least break down for us. So for us to know our stance. In case that if BBSA yet the whole property yet the Bebrem. But I always say don't go and chase somebody's husband. Whether the marriage is on Tartus, whether the marriage in Orugu, so Unguyo. Madam, Ubi be so pa nyabuta na nyakukudune bisande bread and pachawara. Answer na better saying between among your one personal investigation. Na find out answer na mano hokan no you want answer. Because men na odo na ma onyanku besia unsu undi how. Ate because there's a price for everything that we do. The men out there, there are a lot. Take your time. You will get your own. Don't go and chase somebody's husband. Don't go and be the cause of somebody's big the family breakdown. Atasi. Tibesiana Saneshama. Say be them poor. Get there this time around. When you're given a second chance, you make the right decision. And as I said, the proponent of this whole issue is the man who's not alive. So whatever you say, sometimes you have to be very careful. You can't very careful kakra. But one camera on in and there's somebody at the Bahana. Lumba Nankasa. Sebio Akosua on pen view. Or night. What kind of bija 2008? A pen at the manor and Kadamran Kinjina Atasi. But yet a bijina 2008. Also Pero Jawar and Tasa Farman. A bijina how who sistered birthday. Akosua Serwaa Obama team Sekawaran on to me Yasada. Nasa quiet interview 2018 or something. Wasn't there all day or Babesia in Oho Akosua Serwaa na Besia in Oho Akosua now 5 on the which means in calculation terms we know there were 2 Denise na Dan being guy back could be plus Akosua Serwaa 35 in the board, which means even in that interview did not even admit, did not even count Odo Broni the mamu count because you made a bold statement there. Hope I will be brave, which means can somebody infer that you decided to just give birth to Odo Broni without necessarily going through the normal process of getting married and getting divorced, civil, dissolve your friend, then dissolve certificate, and then go ahead to marry Odo Broni or something like that. Time will tell, and God will vindicate. Yeah, mame, Mrs. Akosua Serwaa for so. Feel free and drop your comment under the comment section. I'll come you with some other time. My name is Asutasi. God bless you.